Hey guys, so I just filmed a video, I probably already uploaded it, about how to have healthy arguments in relationships and marriages, and gave some guidelines on that. And while I was talking, I remembered a different point that I wanted to go over about relationships, because I was talking about accountability in arguments, right? You should always hold the woman accountable if she's wrong in the argument, meaning you need to get a confession and an apology, even if it's something small, and vice versa. You should hold yourself accountable when you are in the wrong, and you should confess it and apologize, right? To the degree that, of course, you did something wrong. If it's something small, you go, oh, you know what, my bad. Whereas if you're really an asshole, you should be like, I'm really sorry. That was very rude of me. I apologize. And I should make a video about that, how to truly hold each other accountable in relationships. That was like a generalized guideline video. But this one, I want to talk about, and this is based on a client that I just got recently, where we're doing relationship stuff, right? He has a girlfriend, and so we're trying to make the relationship better, right? And one of the things that we talked about was his willingness to actually get into arguments, right? So my video was about how to have healthy arguments, and then this is sort of like why arguments are actually good. And my main point here, besides you obviously fixing problems in the relationship, is that when you are willing to get in arguments with women, it's actually attractive to them, right? It's attractive for pretty much two reasons. One, they gain respect for you. And a lot of what turns women on, besides aesthetic visual things, because women are, attracted to hot guys, physically hot guys, and cool, sexy demeanors, but women are also attracted to men they respect, right? Like, when we respect another man, like, we're like, oh, he's really good at this or that, and we look up to him, it's just a respect. But for women, when they look up to men, it's just because of the nature of femininity, it translates into attraction. Like, they actually get turned on. This is why you see so many women being attracted to men in authority positions, right? The secretary sleeping with their boss, the nurses sleeping with doctors, women being attracted to men who are successful, right? It's because respect creates attraction in women. Whereas men, it's not so much. Like, if there's a woman who's like a famous singer, but she's like fat and ugly, I'm not suddenly attracted to her because she's really successful. Like, I respect the fact that she's successful, but I'm not attracted to her. Whereas I could be attracted to the girl who works at Subway because she's fucking gorgeous, right? So women and men, while we both are attracted to visual things and also attracted to non-visual things, personality things, men are more heavily visual and women are more heavily attracted to personality things. So when it comes to respecting someone, and also it's where that attraction happens. Like, I don't get sexually attracted to women because they're good at something. I may be more attracted, like, non-sexually, but most of my sexual attraction comes down to how she looks, right? But for women, they actually will get sexually attracted when a man is good at whatever, right? He's successful. It's just how it works, right? So this principle applies to being willing to get into arguments with women. Like, women will get turned on by a man who's willing to argue because he stands up for himself, and he stands up for his desires, and he does it firmly, and he says it with his chest, right? So that's the first reason why arguing with women is actually attractive. Okay, there's a reason why women get into these toxic relationships with guys, right? Obviously, they have self-esteem issues and whatever, right? They're fucked up. But the fact that they were even attracted in the first place to this is because they are sort of turned on by men who are willing to fight. The second thing, that's an extreme version, but it does demonstrate the principle to a certain extent, And the second reason why arguing with women is attractive is because it demonstrates you care. This is something that I went into at the end of the video on arguing is, or how to have healthy arguments. I was talking about that trend of, I'm sure you've heard someone tell this joke before where, married men are like, oh yeah, you can't win an argument with a woman or something like that. Or, just say you're sorry and move on. Like this sort of like automatic capitulation to women. Women just always win the arguments. It's some of the most gay ass shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Every time I hear something even along those lines, like I just know I'm dealing with a complete fucking bitch. And this is the opposite. Being willing to argue with a woman, it shows you care. Whereas these men, they've given up. They don't care anymore. They don't care about arguing with her, right? They just don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be stressed. Well, not only does that make them a pussy, it also shows the woman they don't care anymore. So it's kind of like a double whammy. She's not attracted to him because he's a pussy, but she's also angry with him because he doesn't care anymore. Like the fact that he's willing to fight and have an argument demonstrates he cares. Because if you're around someone who doesn't even see the need to bother with you, right? It's like you thinking it's like thinking someone's your rival and then you're like always competing with them and they don't even fucking know you exist. Like that hurts on a different level. Like you're not even worthy of like, I think less of you. I don't even think of you at all kind of thing, right? And in this case, it's not a good thing. You don't want her to think that, you don't think about her or care about her. And so when you're willing to argue, that demonstrates you do care. Not to the extent where you guys, you're being toxic and always fucking starting fights for no reason. There are men and women out there who are guilty of this. They substitute genuine value and instead just try to push emotional buttons and always spike emotions in order to keep people interested in them because they have nothing of any solid value beneath the surface. But I just want to share a quick screenshot of a message I got from this client. And if you're watching this, totally anonymous, no one knows who you are, buddy. But here's what he told me. So another really interesting observation. My girlfriend and I got into a small fight about how we live in country, and I'm noticing the fights are caused when she says something in absolute terms. I don't like it, and I get a bit defensive since the statement is so black and white, and then try really hard to explain my point of view, but then she disagrees and we start arguing about it. It's weird because it's not like we disagree at its core. We start arguing about the words we use, still trying to figure it out. So that's a separate issue. But the good part is actually after our fight, she started feeling more horny and more sexually attracted to me. She told me that. I think it's not because we get into fights that cause it, but because I'm voicing my true opinion and not being passive / holding it back. Exactly. Right? So, the fact that now she's a cool example here because most women aren't going to like outright say, oh, I'm so glad we just got in that argument. My pussy's wet for you. But his girlfriend is a little bit more of your analytical nerdy type. Like she speaks more directly. And so she sort of directly voiced this opinion. And so this is cool because it shows how women feel, but in a little bit more easy to understand masculine way. Right, because she speaks a little bit more in a masculine nature because she's an analytical type. But it gives you a view into female psychology, because you can see how a woman is actually attracted to a man who is willing to fight. Right, and he nailed it on the head. Right, it's not the fact that we fought; it's the fact that he's voicing his opinions and not being passive and holding it back, which is something that he has been doing. And it's something that I've told him, like, we need to work on it. We need to work on you, tapping into that side of your masculinity, right? Because he was kind of missing that. So by him willing to get into arguments, he's showing strength. And he's showing respect for himself. Because if you have respect for yourself and you have the courage to express it, these are respectable qualities, which for women, looking at men, turns into lust. Make sense? Cool. So If you're not the type who's argumentative with women, you need to start practicing. You can practice this in all sorts of ways. Like, even if you're single, like, be willing to get in arguments with girls, right? Because it's sort of like this, if he's not willing to voice his opinion and get in an argument with me, it means he's afraid. So that's unattractive in general because he's a pussy, but it's also sort of like, it's like men who will just agree with women just maybe so he can get laid, even though he doesn't necessarily agree. It shows a level of dishonesty. So it's characteristically unattractive and also lustfully, like on the level of like, I respect him as a man, it's also unattractive. Because you should always be voicing your opinion if you disagree with someone in certain contexts, right? You don't walk up to everyone who you disagree with and start an argument. But like, if you're spending time with someone and they bring up something you don't like, or they say something you don't like, or act some way towards you that you don't like, you need to bring it up. Because to not do so is cowardly, and it shows you care more about appeasing them than you do standing up for yourself, which counterintuitively actually appeases them less, because I'd rather be around someone who doesn't let me push them around. Now, personally, I go out of my way to make sure people don't even have to do that. I go out of my way to make sure that I'm actively watching how I'm treating other people, and I avoid them even having to bring up the fact. Like, I'll try to catch myself if I ever catch myself being, disrespectful or whatever. But most people are not that actively vigilant over every word they say and every action they take, okay? So when you're dealing with most people, you do need to have boundaries and you need to enforce them. So, practice arguing with women, like just debates, and just get yourself out of this conditioning that a lot of men have, where they'll just like take women's side because, they hope that they can get some pussy out of it. Simping 101, so you need to decondition that. Or if you are in a relationship with a woman, like, if you're not happy with certain things, there are certain ways that she treats you, or certain tones that she takes, or certain things that she says. Like in this case, she speaks in absolutes. Like, we're going to do this, we're not going to do this. It's almost like I'm assuming it's kind of like she's making decisions for the both of them, which doesn't allow his agency to be considered. Okay, hey, I don't like when you speak in absolutes. It annoys me, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your issue is, bring it up more. If you're afraid that you're going to be too much, that's okay. Take the risk of maybe going, crossing the line. It's okay, right? This is one of the situations where crossing the line isn't like horrible, right? You might start to become a guy who's always having issues. And I've tested it before. Like okay, but I need to start voicing my opinions more often. And then I did it, and then I found myself like kind of always jumping down the girl's throat, and I was like, okay, I think I'm doing this a bit too much. Some things you got to let go. So you can't be fucking, Gestapo around everyone, and every tone that they take and everything that they say, you have to like hold them accountable. It's like, okay, that's a bit too far, right? Then you make just people either afraid or just fucking tired of you. It's just exhausting, and people feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you. So there is definitely an extreme, but if you're never that kind of person, you sometimes need to take the extreme point to train yourself in that direction. And then when you recognize you're being too fucking much, then you can pull back and kind of go to your old habits, but then you've trained yourself in this direction, so you'll actually end up being a little bit more middle of the ground. So yeah, good lesson for you. Good lesson for every relationship, not just romantic relationships. Definitely voice your opinions to men and women, because men will respect you for it if you're willing to stand up for yourself. But make sure you actually have a case, right? And always voice the concern with the level of energy that you feel disrespected, right? You don't start screaming because she talks in absolutes. Yeah, listen here, you fucking bitch. You're always talking in extremes and you never let me give my opinion. Fuck you. Okay, obviously too much. right? But then if it is something really serious, you don't want to say, hey, you know what, I don't appreciate you when you do that. No, you need to be like, hey, you need to stop talking like this. Like it's really annoying me, right? Always calibrate. I need to plug in my phone directly. If the video's been kind of like pausing and whatever, it's because I'm using Wi-Fi for my webcam. I can see it on my program. It's kind of doing it. I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'll plug it in directly next time so it's not fucking doing that. Leave a comment in the section saying you're not gonna fucking put up with this suboptimal fucking quality of video where it freezes. Hold me accountable, right? And it'll turn me on. No, I'm kidding. But ooh, a random person on the internet, I really respect you now, man. You stood up to me. But yeah, calibrate the level of your dissatisfaction to the actual like situation. Because if you're naturally a people pleaser, right, which my client is a little bit, he might not say it with enough balls, right? But if you're the kind of person who tends to be very conflicty, not afraid of conflict, more thuggy, well, okay, maybe on average you need to tone things down because you're just way too conflict heavy. And then you adjust, right? So, but yeah, arguing with women is attractive to them. It demonstrates a lot of attractive qualities. And it gets their pussy wet. And it makes them feel like you actually care. So do it more. And then it's healthy for the relationship for obvious reasons, right? This wasn't the point of the video, but it is an obvious benefit that if you are following the guidelines of my other video, which is how to have healthy arguments, you'll resolve problems and then they'll happen less in the future. That's the entire point of arguments, right? Is so that you don't have them again. A good argument stops future arguments. Right? It's like having one battle that stops the war. Right? Now that requires both people to be people who implements the criticisms of the other party. And that's a lot of who you decided to date or who you decided to marry. But that's a completely separate issue. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I have room for about 2 more clients. I mean, if you're watching this at the time that this video was published, if you're watching it from a year from now, I might have a lot more open spots. But for the next like six-ish months from the release of this video, I have room for about 2 more clients, and then I'll be pretty busy because I like my free time. I'm not like super busy. I have like, I don't know. How many clients do I have right now? Like 15 or something, give or take. But some people will disappear for a couple months or whatever, right? Like I have I don't know, 12 maybe. So I'm willing to take 2 more clients for the next 6-ish months. So if you are interested in getting coaching from me, there should be a link in the description. Sign up for a consultation and we can talk and I can help you with anything. I have clients who I'm helping with, in this case, relationship stuff. I have single clients. I also have a female client now. I'm helping her find her husband. So if you're a woman watching this, I am slightly less expensive when I'm coaching women because I'm a little bit less experienced in that area, but still decently expensive for the men's side where I'm super expert. I'm pretty fucking expensive. We can talk about the details in the call or over an email if you just want the numbers. But I'll help you with whatever you want. Finding a girlfriend, getting laid, having a healthier relationship or marriage, getting over an ex-girlfriend, day game, online dating, night game, can do it all. So shoot me a message or shoot me a DM on Instagram, whatever. Just get in touch with me and we can talk about coaching. Otherwise, if that's a bit out of your budget or you're not interested in it, I have my texting book in the description. And then I have my day game course, which is the best way I advise that you meet women. And yeah. All right, cool. Marketing over, sales pitch over. Love you guys. Ciao.